Freedom from slavery. This is often a prominent topic on my mind. And it can be no wonder, as I'm an African American descended from enslaved ancestors here in the United States. Sometimes I have to wonder what it must have been like to be enslaved, with your entire livelihood dependent on the whim of another person, not free to come and go as you choose. Other times, I have to marvel at what it must have felt like to become free. As Moses says in the first reading, did anything so great ever happen before? The taste of freedom is sweet, and it's surely one we have all experienced in one way or another. The Israelites experienced it when they were saved from the Egyptians. In a few weeks, my people will celebrate Juneteenth, the anniversary of the day the slaves were freed here in America. African Americans across the country will gather for food, music, dancing, culture sharing, reflection, education, and encouragement. These are the symptoms of freedom. As Catholics, you and I celebrate another kind of freedom, a freedom of the heart given by God through Jesus. Today's psalm speaks to this spiritual emancipation, in which we are delivered from death and preserved in spite of spiritual famine all around us. This is truly the kindness of the Lord. Our celebration of Pentecost only a few Sundays ago was a reminder that although Jesus returned to the throne, he did not leave us lonely. He gave us his Spirit to guide us and strengthen us, and to drive away the spirit of the world, that of fear and slavery to spiritual death and spiritual orphanry. I'm reminded that not so long ago, my ancestors could be ripped away from their parents at a moment's notice and sold to the highest bidder. A kind of dehumanization that is nearly unspeakable. In the same way that this modeled death, we are reminded today by Paul's letter to the Romans that the salvation we receive from God is the meaning of life, in which we receive a relationship with the eternal Father that the same chapter tells us is unbreakable. When we reflect on this mystery of our faith, the salvation of our souls, we come to terms with not just the actions of God, but his nature as well. Who is this Father who sends his Son to rescue us from slavery, and whose Spirit holds us safe in his arms until the heavenly mission is complete? Matthew's Gospel makes it clear. To confess our freedom as Christians is to confess the Most Holy Trinity, 3 in 1, 1 in 3. The Gospel also tells us that to confess this truth is to proclaim it and to explain it. Our mission as Catholics is summed up as this: a freedom that sets others free. When my ancestors heard the news of the Emancipation Proclamation, I'm sure one of their first reactions was to find a brother or sister or child or neighbor to tell. Freedom has legs. Freedom is meant to go viral. Today, we celebrate a Juneteenth of the heart, a mystical unshackling that we experience not only on solemnities or on Sundays or even in a church, but which energizes everything we do and, like Jesus commanded, makes us go.